By little, a short time in God's Word. Today, December 27th, and our readings Revelation 1 through 4. Now, Book of Revelation, not something to be feared, something to be read, and as we already have walked through it, hopefully a second reading of it this year, or a third, whatever it might be for you, will not be in vain, but it will help in the continued understanding of God's Word. Chapter 1 is instructive because it kind of gives a clue as to what the book's about. Chapters 2 through 4 are the 7 letters of Jesus to the 7 churches, and then various things that they are not doing well, things they are doing well, and then at the end of each letter, he who has ears, let him hear what the Spirit says to the churches. In other words, these are messages not just for one time, but for all time, for all believers in all churches. And so chapter 1, it says the revelation of Jesus Christ. It's not revelations, there's just a revelation, an unveiling, an opening of who Jesus is, right? And it says in verse 3, blessed is the one who reads aloud the words of this prophecy. Blessed are those who hear and those who keep what is written in it, for the time is near. So there's a blessing. Who is Jesus? Verse 8 says, I am the Alpha and the Omega, who is and who was and who is to come, the Almighty. And then John says in verse 10, I was in the Spirit on the Lord's day, and I heard behind me a loud voice like a trumpet. It's not a trumpet, but it's like, that's the sound, like the definitive aspect to it, the sharpness of it, saying, write what you see in a book and send it to the 7 churches, to Ephesus, to Smyrna, to Pergamum, to Thyatira, to Sardis, to Philadelphia, to Laodicea. And I turned to see the voice that was speaking to me, and on turning, I saw 7 golden lampstands. And in the midst of the lampstands, one like a son of man, clothed with a long robe and with a golden sash around his chest. The hairs of his head were white, like white wool, like snow. His eyes were like a flame of fire. His feet were like burnished bronze, refined in a furnace, and his voice was like the roar of many waters. In his right hand he held 7 stars. From his mouth came a sharp 2-edged sword, and his face was like the sun shining in full strength. When I saw him, I fell at his feet as though dead, but he laid his right hand on me, saying, fear not, I am the first and the last, the living one. I died, and behold, I am alive forevermore. And I have the keys of death and Hades. Right therefore the things that you have seen, those that are, and those that are to take place after this. As for the mystery of the 7 stars that you saw on my right hand, and the 7 golden lampstands, the 7 stars are the angels of the 7 churches, and the 7 lampstands are the 7 churches. So it's a different picture of Jesus than when John last saw him on earth, right? On earth, it was the resurrected Jesus with nail-scarred hands, rising, and this same Jesus whom you see ascend will one day descend. Well, before that, John is given a glimpse, a vision of Son of Man in heaven, and he's using descriptive language to describe something that's probably beyond description. And so it's like this, it's like that. Jesus is not going to walk around with a sword out of his mouth, but that's the image, right? That his words will cut through, divide to the very marrow. And in all of that, John understands who he is, and he bows. And Jesus reveals, fear not, I'm the first, the last, the living one. I died, but I'm alive forevermore. Make no mistake about it, our God is alive. Jesus lives, and he's sitting on the right hand of the Father. And so then he gives him, here's the instructions for this vision that you're going to have, and for the things I want you to write. Write the things that you see that are, and then the things that are to come. Okay, and so that's how we're going to have chapter 1, then we're going to have chapter 2 to 4, and then from 4 to about 18 is the things to come, and then there's like a wrap-up kind of section at the end. And that's how we're going to view the book of Revelation. So, Jesus is God. Always has been. There was never a moment when he wasn't. He just took upon himself human flesh. Here in the book of Revelation, it's the revelation of Jesus Christ. Till next time, keep growing little by little.